Hello, everybody. Welcome to our A Moment with NCDHH, our podcast that we've been providing to you. Today, we're going to be talking about things that are near and dear to all of us as part of our roles as advocacy specialists. And what that is self-advocacy, the promotion of self-advocacy. We want to promote individuals and teach them how to self-advocate for their communication needs, their technology accommodations, things that they need when they're going to places or within their everyday lives. How can they be a part of their society and also a part of their home life as well? So we're going to provide some tips, some ways to address different issues, different places, different settings. So we'll start with Dylan today. Take it away. Hi, everyone. My name is Dylan. I'm the Advocacy Specialist, one of two in Omaha. The most important topic, well, really, issue and important aspect of self-advocacy is knowing what you need and what you want. So I've seen people have a very vague idea of what they need. So we try to kind of nail down to what it is. So starting that path for self-advocacy is to know what you need. Maybe do a self-analysis. Who can help me get what I need? Search for an organization, a service provider, someone who can help you. So once you analyze that, how can I get connected with them? How can we help each other out? And then what do I know and need I want to know that I need and want to meet my goals? Yes, that's true. That's true, Kim is saying. It doesn't matter if you're deaf, hard of hearing, deaf blind, each individual, all of our needs and wants are different. We're not all the same. And so that means we have to take the primary responsibility ourselves to know what's going to work for us. So we're responsible for communicating that out. You can't expect someone to know what it is that you need because they deal with all walks of life and they don't know exactly what your preferences might be. So it's our responsibility to let them know. Beautiful, Dylan. Let's see what Cody has to say. Hi, I'm Cody, also an Omaha Advocacy Specialist. In healthcare, it's really critical in our everyday lives, but we experience a lot of frustrations and struggles with communication access in hospitals or other healthcare facilities. So what people tend to do is, or what can I do is, I don't know, should I complain? What should I do? Well, what we encourage is there are different strategies to address this. First of all, you can file a complaint with the Department of Health and Human Services online. You can report the name of the facility, the situation, and what happened, and then they will conduct an investigation. Maybe they didn't provide you an interpreter. Maybe the quality of care was subpar. There's also the Joint Commission, and they accredit many health facilities for their licensure. So there's a great place to go too if you want to file a complaint against a facility. If you're deaf, hard of hearing, or deaf blind, sometimes you may file a civil rights or discrimination complaint. So you can do that through the Office of Civil Rights. A lot of complaints go through there. Disability Rights Nebraska has a lot of advocacy services, legal resources, attorneys on staff that can provide support as well. Do you think, and people think, is it worth it to file a complaint? We encourage you to do that. They may not resolve your case, but it may improve the situation for people in the future who go to those places. Beautiful. Yes, that's a great example. of showing, what's needed in healthcare. And if they don't meet your needs, what do you do next? Yeah, that's very nice. Every hospital in Nebraska has a system in place, and it's important to know how their system operates. Who's the contact person? Who's responsible for meeting your accommodations and your requests? And if it doesn't happen there, what can you do? So perfect resources there, Cody. Places like employment or um, a dentist office or even an attorney's office, the courts, all of them have different avenues and people to contact. And our agency can help guide you. And that's what we do as advocacy specialists. We can guide you, we can assist you in advocating and promoting that self-advocacy. We can guide you all the way through that. Who to contact and who to reach out to. So beautiful, Cody. All right, let's see what Aaron has to say. What do you have for tips for us today for self-advocacy?
Hello, I'm Aaron from the Kearney office. I'm going to discuss self-advocating with your family. It can be both easier and harder in certain situations when you are dealing with family. One of the first things that you should do is let your family know that you have hearing loss if you have not already. This primes them to understand that you may need a little extra patience from time to time. You want to be able to ask for exactly what you need. Piggybacking off of what Dylan said earlier, you should spend some time understanding where you need assistance, be it in crowded rooms or watching television. Your trouble spots. Once you've figured out where you'd like extra assistance, don't be afraid to clearly ask for what you need. You do not want to beat around the bush or give an unclear response. You want to be firm and clear about what you need. Things like, if you watch television with the captions on, it would help me understand better. Or if you turn down the music when we ate dinner, I would be able to understand what you were saying better. Something that may be a bit annoying but can prove very crucial is providing reminders. When you are around family, it's easy to fall into these habits. You'll have to remind your family from time to time about certain things that you want. Sometimes they forget to look at you when they're speaking. A friendly reminder that you can understand them best when they look at you is a good way to get them back to where you need them. Lastly, be sure to educate them about hearing loss. By giving your family a better understanding of what you live with, they can better accommodate you in situations that might be difficult.
Beautiful, Aaron. Beautiful, yes. It's an everyday thing with family. It's our life, right? Every day we are with family. Sometimes we have large gatherings with family. And so, yes, it can be difficult. Noise exposure is a problem within a household, like you talked about the music being loud or lots of conversations happening at the same time. It's hard to hear. So, just asking for those simple things. People who can hear, they have that ability to tune out sound, to focus in on one specific sound that they want to hear. They have that capability. People who wear hearing aids or cochlear implants, it may amplify the sound, but they don't necessarily have that ability to block out or tune out that unwanted noise. The hearing aids and devices pick up everything. And the hearing is different than when they were able to hear, when they're relying on their residual hearing. So it is very difficult, and so it's very important to educate your family when they don't realize that. So yes, I very much support what you said. Thank you. All right, let's go with Kathy. You're
Hi, I'm Kathy. I work in the North Platte office, and I'm going to talk with you a little bit about self-advocacy in your employment situations. Much like Aaron and your family, I think that you spend as much, if not more time with your coworkers and your employer than anyone else in your life. And it is so hard to encourage them to understand your hearing loss and your situation and how to help with your hearing loss and your communication needs. The first thing that I'd like to say is no one's going to do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. Like Dylan said, you have to do your research. You have to decide what you need. What do you need from your employer as far as technology, as far as equipment, as far as training for your coworkers or for other people that come in, the customers, if you deal with them. You also need to remind them on a daily basis. Remind your coworkers of how to communicate with you. Because hearing loss is not a visual disability, people don't realize that you have hearing loss or they forget about it. So on a daily basis, put it out there. And yeah, it gets old and it's hard to do, and nobody likes to keep saying, hey, help me. But that's what self-advocacy is all about, is you have to do it for yourself. Additionally, you need to ask your employer for that technology. You have to ask them to do training for your coworkers. You need to ask for specific equipment that's going to help you to communicate better. Again, they're not going to come to you and say, what can I do for you? Or is this going to work for you? You have to go to them and ask for it. If there's some brand new technology out there, you as the person with hearing loss is going to know about it way sooner than your employer is going to hear about it. Unless you happen to work for the Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, then we probably all get it at about the same time. But in a general employment setting, you're going to know and have access to that technology first. The last thing, again, like Dylan said, is find those resources, those agencies that are able to assist you. Reach out to them, reach out to our agency. We can come in and do training if it's okay with your employer, if it's okay with your supervisor. We'll do tips on communicating with someone with hearing loss, technology that's available. We'll do training one-on-one with your employer if that's what we need to do. But it's, again, up to you. Take those steps, decide what you need, and ask for it.
Beautiful. Yes, beautiful. We are blessed to work at the Nebraska Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, and we have all the technology and service providers, like, for example, our wonderful interpreter, Sharon. Sometimes she has to be split into 3 separate bodies and who relies on her for interpreting services, but not always. But we do contract with outside interpreters if Sharon's not available to address our needs. But it's very nice. We have a lot of technology that enables us to do our essential job duties. So we are perfect to contact to ask what's available. What can I get? We can show. Seeing is believing, so I totally support what you've said, Kathy. That was wonderful. So lastly is me, Kim Davis, and I'm in the Lincoln office. So all told, all our tips today for self-advocacy have been wonderful. There are different ways to approach situations, but like most of us have said, and Dylan mentioned, talking about what are your needs. Do that self-analysis. What's going to work for you? Once you know that, then you can share that information with service providers, doctors, hospitals, any of those appointments that you have outside of your home, or even within your home when, like Aaron talked about, family events, when you're planning those. That be prepared to self-advocate. And for those who are responsible to bring in that technology or bring in a sign language interpreter or provide a caption service provider, it is those providers that you're asking for. Lots of times they'll say, oh, just bring your own interpreter or bring a family member to sign for you or use a family member to take notes or type for you or bring in a companion to do that for you. They are responsible to provide you with those accommodations. If they don't know how, that's where you educate them as well. Or you can reach out to us and we can provide a list of resources where they can find a sign language interpreter, where they could find a caption service provider, where can they find assisted listening devices, personal devices, or maybe buy a larger one for a larger group setting, like a loop system where you can loop a room. Maybe an FM system. There's a lot of technology that's available. Some places already have those in place. Movie theaters have what's called Captive View, where it's a specific device that you can use from the movie theater, where you can have access to captioning for the movies. They also have caption glasses at the Regis Theaters in Omaha. There's glasses that provide captioning. So again, there's lots of technology available. We also have assisted listening devices where you could wear a headset to improve the clarity of speech. For those who are someone who still has residual hearing, maybe who's hard of hearing, they can have what's called descriptive listening, or it's not captions, it's descriptive listening. I don't know how it works, but I think it's very fascinating. But then, like at a movie, you can hear what the dialogue is, but then there's additional speech that describes the action, the visual information that's going on in the movie. So things are explained to a person who can't see the movies, person who's blind. So again, if it just depends. If someone won't do it and they refuse to provide services that you want, you need to find out who the person in charge is in that particular setting. Who's responsible to authorize services, the purchase of equipment that's needed? Who's responsible for that? So then you can interact with that person. Just make sure you get everything in writing. Make sure you have everything documented. Start documenting at the very beginning, telling them that, you know, what it is you need, the date and time, who you talk to, and when the next event is happening or when the next appointment is. Make sure you keep track of all of that information. And then what action is you want them to take. And then ask them to get back to you with what they plan on do with the things that you've asked for. You can reach out to us. We'll help guide you along the way. But like Cody explained, the hospital system has a different avenue where to file complaints. So you have to kind of go through the chain of command and show that you did take action and that you did try and your accommodation wasn't resolved. So then as you get higher up the chain, then people can see what has transpired. Like Dylan said, know what your first step is. All of us have given you wonderful tips today. And I love this part of our job, educating and promoting self-advocacy. It's important that you know yourself what it is that you want and need. I hope this information was beneficial to you. Remember, this is the ADA 30th anniversary year this month. We're celebrating. So there's still a work in progress, but we are leaps and bounds from where we have been. It's taken a long way, and we've got so many more opportunities available to us. Technology, service providers, caption interpreters, and all things like that. Any last comments? All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.